my bait now.
Look at this beauty. Anytime a man shows up wearing this hat, he's got stories to tell.
All right, everybody, so about a week ago I made a comment about some shrimp boulettes that I ate somewhere, and I did not leave a positive review. It was maybe unfair, but nonetheless, I've gotten a lot of questions about what is a shrimp boulette. Well, I'm going to show you guys exactly how I make shrimp boulettes here at home. There are 1,000 different ways to do it. I'm not saying anybody else's is right or wrong, but this is the way that I do it. So here's what you need. I've got about 2.5 pounds of shrimp, flour, a milk and egg bath, cooking oil just to fry them in, then 3 eggs, just the greens from the green onions, just the leaves from a bunch of parsley, stick and a half of butter, 4 cloves of garlic. I've got a little bit of milk that went into the milk bath, chicken stock, breadcrumbs, and some of the Marshes tomato seasoning, salt and pepper to your taste. Those are all the ingredients that we're going to need. We're going to show you how we put all that together to make these. So everyone got a little shot of the shrimp being ground up in the food processor. So I'm adding the greens from the green onions and the parsley leaves to this just to mix it all together. Obviously you can grind these separately if you need, or you can chop them up however you would like and then mix them together. I prefer to just put them all into the food processor together and let it do its thing. And hopefully this time it'll work out. All right, so we ground up all the shrimp. We put in the parsley and the green onions and the garlic with it. We got it all mixed up. You can see it's kind of in a paste now. We're going to add about a cup of breadcrumbs to it. Some people use actual bread. I prefer the breadcrumbs. So add about a cup of the breadcrumbs to it, and then we'll get this all mixed up. Now while we're mixing this up, I've put the stick and a half of butter in this pot here, and I'm going to turn it on low heat just to get it where it's starting to melt that butter. Now the reason for that is I'm going to mix these up, make them into balls, then we're going to flour them and fry them. I'm going to take them straight from the hot grease that they're frying in, and I'm going to add them to that pot with the melted butter. We will turn up the heat on the pot after every one of them is in there, and then we will slowly steam those in the chicken broth. All right, so I've got my boulettes made. They're all floured once. Now I like to let them rest for a little bit before I put them through the milk and egg bath and then back through the flour again. They had all the seasoning inside of them that they need. I'm not seasoning the flour or anything of that nature. My butter is melted. My grease is warming up. Now I'm going to take this onion, it's a pretty large onion, and I'm going to just use half of it to add to the bottom of the pot where the boulettes are going to steam. It's going to just add a little flavor to the boulettes. It's not really there for anything other than adding the flavor. This is not something for consumption or whatever. It's not like, oh boy, I want some of that onion, but it's going to add some flavor. So I'm going to just let this saute in with that butter for this process. So if you look here in the pot, the butter's melted. It's on an extremely low heat. So this is going to be sauteing for a while because remember, I'm going to be putting all of my boulettes in the fryer first to fry them before they come in here. So these onions will just kind of mix around with this butter, give them a little bit of flavor. So my boulettes have set up for about 5 minutes. Now you can see the size of these. They vary a little bit. Some of them are about the size of a racquetball. Some of them are just a little bit bigger, but about the size of a racquetball is what you're after. I let them set for about 5 minutes. I run them through the milk and egg bath, then back through the flour for one more time. It's going to give these things the extra flour that you need to stick to them, and it also gave them a little bit of time to firm up. You don't want to put these in your grease and then just have them turn into flat pancakes. These are boulettes. They're shaped like a ball. So we are going to make them to stay shaped like a ball. Okay, so all of the boulettes were floured twice now. They're all firm. They should stay together pretty well in the hot grease. The grease is warm. It's probably around 325 degrees. So we just start putting these things in here. Now remember, we're cooking the outside of this because we're going to steam these in that pot, in the cast iron pot where the onions and the butter are. I did turn the heat up a little bit on the onions and butter just to give a little caramelization to the onions. Release some of those sugars. All right, so the boulettes are all starting to turn golden brown. Some people cook them a lot darker. I like to start mine off as it's golden brown. So I'm just gonna roll them over, get all sides of them done, make sure that they're all nice and crispy. You can feel the boulette, how the crust on it is crispy or not. You just want that crust to be able to stick to it while you're steaming the boulettes, okay? So some of this flour will come off even though it's fried, and it's going to essentially make a roux in this cast iron pot after you put them in there. So we just get them all fried, turn them over one good time, get all sides of them nice and kind of golden brown. After that, we'll take them straight from the grease, straight into this pot. We'll let them sit for just a few minutes. We'll add the chicken broth. We'll turn the heat down and we're gonna let them steam for probably 30 to 45 minutes. We'll watch it as we go. We may have to add a little bit of water. The chicken broth, as I said, the flour is gonna come off some of these boulettes and it's gonna make a little bit of a gravy. It's gonna be a little bit different than what you've probably seen with boulettes, but this is the way we do it. All right, so my boulettes are brown on all sides. So like I said, we're just gonna take them over to this pot and put them directly in that pot. I'm not worried about the little bit of grease that comes with them. I just don't want to drip it on my stove, which is why I'm using this little tray to carry it over. Okay, so now we're getting the rest of the boulettes in the pot. We get them all in there, get them spread around nice and even. And we're gonna let them cook for just a couple of minutes like that. And then we'll add the chicken stock to it. Now, you can add these boulettes in this pot until this pot is almost full. But I didn't have any reason to cook that many today. I just wanted to demonstrate how we made boulettes here. But if you look and see, they're nice and golden brown and they're gonna steam in here pretty well. I'm gonna let them roll around in this oil or butter that's in there for just a few minutes, get a little bit of flavor, and then I'll add the chicken broth, put the lid on it, and let it just steam on a low heat for about 30-45 minutes. Okay, so as you can see, the boulettes all got a little bit darker cooking in the butter just for a little while. They've only been in there maybe 3 minutes. I've rolled them around 2 or 3 times, so they've gotten a little bit darker. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just reach over here and grab this chicken stock or chicken broth and add it to this. Okay, so an entire canister of chicken broth. We're going to put the lid back on here. We're going to leave just a little crack on the side. I'm going to turn this down to a medium-low heat. We're going to let it cook for about half an hour. Then we'll come and check them and see how firm they are, how done they are, and we'll go from there. If they need another 15 minutes, we'll go another 15 minutes. All right, so I let these boulettes steam for about 30 minutes. I've come in here and I've stirred them a couple of times during that time, but I'm pretty sure they're done. So we take the pot lid off and just kind of stir them around. You can see you've got a little bit of gravy that got made out of that flour that fell off of these, and a little bit of the chicken stock, but I can feel that they're done. There's a certain firmness you're looking for, but also I cut this one in half right here. If you take a look at this one right here that I cut in half, you can see that that is done through and through. So these are all done, and I will show you what a shrimp boulette, according to Todd Bergeron, here with Marshes to Meadows, is supposed to look like. This is a shrimp boulette. Get yourself a small spoon, ladle, whatever. Put just a little bit of this gravy on here. It's not much in the bottom of the pot. We weren't looking to make a whole lot. And there you have it. That is a shrimp boulette.